The Yamaha YSP-4300 seems to be designed with two goals in mind. The first is to give you everything that you would get from a standalone receiver in a more simple, compact unit. This includes the obvious, like HDMI video switching, decoding of advanced audio codecs from Dolby and DTS, and iPod control. But it also includes less obvious features, like an FM radio and an IR blaster option. The second goal is to give you a surround sound experience similar to having 5 or more channels spread throughout the room, all from a single centered speaker array. While many soundbars tout this feature, most simply send certain sounds from the left and right front channels out of phase, making them hard to localize. Contrary to this, Yamaha is the most prominent manufacturer to incorporate a discrete solution. That is, they send sound from the surround channels physically from beside and behind you. How they accomplish this is to project the surround channels to the sides of the room, bounce them off the walls, and then have them arrive at your ears from the sides and back, more faithfully replicating the experience of having discrete speakers. Are you still having a hard time visualizing this? No problem. Either think of how a billiard ball bounces off the side of a pool table, or just look at the included diagrams in the Yamaha YSP-4300's user manual. The Yamaha arrived looking as though it had gone through 3 minutes in the octagon with Gina Carano. Fortunately, the contents emerged unscathed, with a heavy, yet slim, black brushed aluminum main unit. The luxurious appearance doesn't quite carry over to the subwoofer, which matches a glossy plastic front to a matte vinyl cabinet. Of course, the sub is designed to be tucked out of sight, so it was wise to focus on the main unit's appearance. I used the Yamaha YSP-4300 in 2 rooms. The first was my reference family room. This probably wasn't the best environment, as the room is not only large and difficult to fill with sound, but very open in nature, making those angles needed to bounce sound waves less than ideal or downright impossible. For instance, the left surround channel would seemingly need to reflect off my left wall, where there was no wall, only my hallway. In listening, it seemed a combination of rear reflections and out-of-phase signal may have been used to compensate for this lack of reflective surface, but I'm not going to pretend to know the ingredients to Yamaha's secret sauce. I also set up the Yamaha YSP-4300 in a more rectangular bedroom. In this environment, the Yamaha had all the apparent reflective surfaces needed to bring in sound in from all angles, and, with its 14 by 12 by 9 foot dimensions, a smaller room volume to fill. In the case of the family room, I found the Yamaha to give convincing surround effects from the main listening position. For example, the right surround channel sounded like it was coming from my right. Was it as good as dedicated speakers? Not even close. The sound was overly diffused with poor timbre matching between surround channels, likely due to my unruly room. But, compared to other virtual surround systems, the Yamaha YSP-4300 was the best I've heard in this regard by a long shot. Sound effects in the bedroom setup were better still, given the rectangular and reflective walls. This is the ideal application, a smaller room in which 5 speaker setups are wholly impractical. Unfortunately, my impression of the overall sound quality was less favorable. The Yamaha YSP-4300 got loud enough to fill my large family room and then some, which is a chore for most compact systems. However, at anything above moderate listening level, the sound was mid-range heavy, creating a small box or cupped hands effect. This was perfect for discerning movie dialogue, but music became unbalanced and at high levels strained. This was especially true of the subwoofer. The sleek design that made the sub perfect for sliding along couches and under end tables comes at the cost of maximum output and extension due to the small cabinet size and presumed lack of rigidity, as well as the smaller 6.5-inch driver. Measurements show that the 30 Hz spec, at least in my setup, might be a bit of a stretch. In the bedroom, with its smaller volume, levels could be kept lower and room gain helped the sub, but tonality and extension was still average compared to other high-end soundbars. Am I unfairly faulting Yamaha after magically creating a sense of speakers where there are none for not breaking the remaining laws of physics? Probably. So it's best to go into this product with a sense of what can realistically be achieved in such a svelte package. Apples to apples, the Yamaha YSP-4300 performs its surround tasks in a more sophisticated and convincing way than any other soundbar I've heard. Unfortunately, the emphasis placed on Yamaha's surround sound abilities begs apples to oranges comparisons with discrete 5-speaker surround systems. Further begging apples to oranges comparisons is the price. The Yamaha YSP-4300 retails for $1,899 and streets for about $1,800. This is much above the price range typically occupied by soundbars, and squarely into the range where one might be able to purchase a mid-range AVR, sub, and speakers with the requisite wiring. So, what market is there for the Yamaha YSP-4300? I'd say that someone who puts a premium on full-featured products with the most convincing virtual surround that I've heard, and a 5-minute setup so simple that you can't screw it up, will be happy with the Yamaha. Those looking for better overall sound quality at the expense of convincing surround effects will find other options of better value proposition. And those who've watched this far and are still asking, why not just buy separate speakers, should stick to eating oranges. But if you have a smaller room and a need for the best surround effects you can get from a single, simple speaker array and a thick wallet, then the Yamaha YSP-4300 is for you.